Ben said he needed to see for himself what Dr. Mesmer's force would do. Impossible. I can do it, Dr. Mesmer. Merci beaucoup, Charles. Ben watched a group of patients being mesmerized by Dr. Mesmer's helper, Charles. They gasped and groaned, twitched and trembled, even fell down in a faint. Then it was Ben Franklin's turn. He didn't gasp and groan or twitch and tremble, and he didn't faint. In fact, he didn't feel a thing. Ben observed the difference between the patient's reactions and his own. Dr. Mesmer said that l'Américain must be special. The force didn't work on him. Ben had a different idea. What if the force was not in Dr. Mesmer's wand, but in the patient's mind? Those patients believed the force was real. They expected to tremble and twitch, to grasp and groan, and to feel better. So they did. Ben hypothesized that what the patients felt was caused by their own minds, not by an invisible force. But how could Ben be sure? He watched another patient being mesmerized. Charles waved his finger near her face and she screamed. She said she felt a burning flame. He never touched her, but whenever his hand moved, she felt the same fiery heat. Ben asked her to try it once again, blindfolded. When Charles waved his finger near her stomach, the patient cried out in pain. She said she felt heat in her ear. When Charles moved back behind her, the woman shrieked that she felt burning in her leg. Ben blindfolded another patient. Ben told him that he was being mesmerized. The patient said he felt it. Charles was not even in the room. Then Charles came back into the room. The patient didn't know that he was there. Charles stared at him. He waved his fingers. He pointed his wand. This time the patient didn't feel a thing. Ben tested his hypothesis by blindfolding the patients. Ben tested patient after patient, but it was always the same. If the patient expected and believed something would happen, something did, even without force. If the patient did not expect anything to happen, nothing did, even with force. The test results supported Ben's hypothesis that the so-called force did not exist. Ben went back to the king and told him what he'd seen. Soon all of Paris was abuzz again. Dr. Mesmer took his wand and fled. Ben's blind test was such a good idea that it's still in use. Before a new medicine or treatment is approved, two groups of patients try it out. One group gets the real medicine, the other gets a fake called a placebo. The patients aren't blindfolded, but they are blind in a sense because they don't know if the medicine they took is real or fake. That way, if the group that takes the real medicine does better than the placebo group, we can be sure that the difference is due to the medicine itself, not what the patients may have expected or believed. But what about people who feel better after taking the placebo? Think of Dr. Mesmer's patients. Their feelings were real even if the force supposed to be at work wasn't. And while not all of them recovered from their illnesses, many did. Scientists are still learning about hypnosis, the placebo effect, and many other ways our minds can help us heal. That would be no surprise to Ben Franklin. He knew that the mind could do amazing things, such as using the scientific method to find the truth. The end.